Question for you guys. At what age is too old to be living with your parents? Let's talk about it.
I don't think there's anything wrong with adults living with their parents.
I don't think people understand. Right now, the average amount of money you have to make in order to live by yourself is $60,000 a year, meaning you have to get paid $30 an hour. Come here. And that is just to cover rent. That's not including furniture. That's not including other bills. That's not including car issues, right? If you were to put all that together, you'd have to make about $75,000 a year, meaning you have to get paid over $35 or $40 an hour. So if you know somebody that is making you feel bad because you live at home with their parents, unless they are making $40 an hour at their job, they're definitely lying to you about their living situation. They either live in a closet or they have 4 roommates. There's nothing wrong with staying with your parents right now, because at this moment in time, the new generation, they can't save any money. The only thing going up is the cost of things, not the actual payment towards their lives.
All right, let's think about this for a second. $60,000 annually, if that's your income, making around $30 an hour. That's after accounting for taxes. Let's take out 25%. Now you're sitting at $45,000 for the year, roughly. Very rough estimate. $45,000 a year gives you a monthly take-home pay of $3,750 a month. That is bare take-home pay for the month. That is before you put any money in investments. That is before you're putting money towards health insurance. That is before you're putting money towards rent or a mortgage. That's before you're putting money towards groceries, which is god-awful right now. It is a horrible time to be a new Gen Zer. It is. As a mid-level millennial, I'm not the old millennials, but I'm not the young millennial. I'm like right in the middle, 33. I remember starting out and getting out and living on my own. I moved out of my house. I'm out of my mom and dad's house when I was 19. Went to college, moved away, rented a single-family house with 2 buddies, and we just kind of made it happen. Now, I remember those days. I do. I remember, being it was some of the best times. You move in, you have this whole new world of freedom. You have no one to answer to but yourself. It's up to you to go to class. It's up to you to brush your teeth at night. It's up to you to eat right, to work out. It's all on you. But the problem was, stuff was still relatively affordable. This was probably like 2011, I would guess, whenever I was 19 and moved out of my parents' house. So yes, times were way different just back then to where they are now. Right now is a shitty time to be starting out and being dirt poor as a college student or dirt poor graduating college. I've been there. So although I'm a big believer in work hard, live on less, I will confront the issue and say right now is a different period of time than not all of history, but than what most people are used to. It is way more expensive to have living costs, health insurance, that's a whole nother conversation. Groceries, and everything you need just to have a livable life is very tough right now. But should you still be living with your parents in your mid to late 20s? Let's watch some more videos and hear other people's thoughts.
I have quite the dilemma. I'm 26 years old, I live at home with my parents, and I just threw up. Feel sick as a dog. I have this strong urge to tell my mom. I don't know why. Don't know what she'd do. She can't really do anything. She can't make me unthrow up. I know she can't do anything, but there's some comfort right now at 12 o'clock in the morning of getting my mother out of her sleep, standing in the doorway and just being like, hey, I threw up. And just letting her know. That would make me, I think, feel better. I think I have to do this.
Oh my God. 26 years old, waking up his mom to tell her that he threw up. I gotta do that. I gotta call my mom and see what she would say about this. Mom's making a repeat on the videos. You guys liked it last time. Let's see what she has to say this time. Let's see if she picks up.
Hello?
Hey, what's up?
What's up?
Okay, I have a scenario for you, and I want your honest feedback.
Okay.
So let's say I'm single, right?
Yeah.
I'm 26. I'm living with you and Dad. And it's 12 o'clock in the morning, and I throw up, right? You and Dad are still asleep. I come into your and Dad's room. I wake you up. 12 o'clock in the morning. and I say, hey, Mom, I threw up. What would you do?
I'd totally help you out, but then I would say, how much did you have to drink?
Oh, my God.
You've been out. Didn't you say in the scenario that you've been out and you came in home?
No, just that I threw up.
Oh, well, I would definitely help you out.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, I would do whatever you needed.
Even at 26?
Even at 26, because by then you're going to be paying rent if you're still living with me. So.
Okay, that's good to know. What about
Yeah,
Dad? What do you
you're
think?
gonna be
What do you think Dad would say?
Dad would wait to see if I needed his help, and then he'd get up.
Okay.
Dad's pretty good. He got up with you guys when you were younger, when you were sick too. We both did.
No, he did.
You're
Yeah.
always gonna be my kid. I'm always gonna be there for you, no matter what.
All right, there you go.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. I'm filming again.
Oh boy.
All right, I'll talk.
They're gonna. Hey, just tell your people you do not have a drinking problem at all.
Hey, you heard it from the source herself.
Okay, love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, Jesus. When she said that, I was like, you guys are going to think I'm a freaking drunk. Oh, my. There you have it. Hey, that's good. I thought she maybe would be like, clean it up. Like, put your ass to bed. So, hey, good. I love my mom.
If you're a young man, I'm going to convince you to move out of your house and grow up in one video.
Hey, move out when you're ready. I live with my mom and my stepdad. That's the downstairs. And this is my room when I grew up. I think I was like 8 or 9 when we moved here. Small. But I'm grateful that she let me live here for the time being. Right here is my sister's room. She's grateful that we can be able to come back here and live with her. But the thing about it is, it's your mindset of why you're here. I know I'm not here for a long time. Does it irritate me that I'm here? Yes. My room, small. Very small. I can damn near touch wall to wall. But I'm grateful for that woman for letting her, her youngest come back and stay. Because she could have said no. So if you are at your parents' house, let it be for a reason. If you can afford to move out, then move out. If you're sitting around being lazy, I do not feel sorry for you. And you do need to move out. Be a man.
Perfect. That guy could not have said it any better. That's probably my belief right there. Is like, if you're living at home and you're 22 years old, 21 plus, let it be for a reason. Like, let it be for a reason of you're going through some troubles, or you're, in a process of moving out of state or moving to a different home, or whatever your scenario is. Because if you're just living at home because it's comfortable, well, you're going to always stay comfortable. I remember when I was like 17, 18, I could not wait to get out on my own. I could not wait to start buying my own groceries and paying for my own stuff and figuring out how I was going to do it. It was a sense of becoming an adult and becoming a man. And I feel like that's like lost right now. And I know it's expensive and stuff, but even if stuff was expensive, I would still want to test myself and say, I can do this. I can figure this out. But if you're in a situation in life, or you're going through something, like if my son and daughter at 26, 28, whatever, they came back and said, hey, Mom, Dad, I got some stuff going on. Can I live with you guys for a little bit? Yes, totally fine. My wife and I had to do that twice in our lives. One time when we were 26 and we just had my son, we were making a move from Kansas City back to St. Louis area. And when we did that, we didn't have a house to live. We couldn't find a house to rent. We had nothing available. My wife thought she had a job lined up. I was unemployed at the time because I quit my job in Kansas City. I was just going to look for jobs while we were going to find a place to rent. And at the time we moved back, my wife got news that her job was no longer available. And they said, sorry, we're doing a hiring freeze. So there we were, both unemployed with a 6-month-old child, living in her dad's basement, my father-in-law. That was a very turning point in our lives. I had to go. I started working with some real estate investor that I found on Craigslist, and the other guy I was working with as like my partner, he was like freshly out of jail for like 2 years. It was a complete shit show. We were drinking beers at like 8 in the morning on the job, like one of the wildest times of my life, but it was also It was also a good learning experience. I'll remember that. I will say that. But there's times, and it just happened literally a few months ago when we moved from Florida to this house. We had to wait a little bit for our closing date, and we didn't have enough time to stay in Florida. So we had like a 3-week void period that my mom and dad let my entire family shack up in their house for 3 weeks. So, but we knew there was a point in our lives why we had to do that. So if that's your scenario, I say I agree with it. But if it's a different scenario and you're just being lazy and you don't want to become an adult and be on your own, that's where I start to be like, maybe we need to fix something here.
He's a 10, but he lives with his mom.
Oh my God, negative 20 million. Negative. Forget I exist. Don't even talk to me at this point. Live with your mom. You know, listen, I would love for you to have a great relationship with your mom, but you live with them? Jesus. We're too old for that.
That is a big downfall of living with the parents. If you are in the dating life still, that's I think another big bonus if you're a man is getting out on your own and just being able to be a man and rely on yourself and not your parents. I would say that's probably the biggest downfall when it comes to living with parents is the dating scene. Thank God I don't have to deal with that right now. I can't imagine what you guys are going through right now in this dating scene with social media, dating apps. Like there's something about old-fashioned dating that just I feel like needs to make a comeback. I don't know how to explain it, but so my wife and I, we met each other at a farm party at 19 years old, and we've been together ever since. And I feel like there's this lost sense of companionship and wanting to grow together and grow old together. And I also feel like people are so quick to just get over somebody. I don't know, I'm getting off topic here, but maybe that's a whole nother video is the dating scene right now in our society. I hate it. And it scares me for my son and my daughter when they get older. Because I love that like old-fashioned love. I do. Like it's the best. It's what brings me the most joy is having an amazing marriage with my wife. And I hate that I feel like that's getting lost nowadays, or maybe there's just a different outlook on that. I don't know, I'm not in touch as much with that dating scene, but from what I see on the outside, it's tough.
I currently live with my parents, and I'll probably be living with them for the rest of my life, and so will my siblings. Not one single one of my siblings has moved out of my parents' home. Like, we are all here, and I'm the second to youngest. None of us are motivated to pay over $1,000 to live in a shoebox with a bunch of people we don't know when we could be paying a lot less living in this shoebox with our parents. Not only do we have each other to entertain ourselves, like we get to hang out every day, but also if I have an issue, I just go to my mom or I go to my dad. Like, that's so easy. And if I'm ever lazy and I just like want some food, but I don't want to do anything, I could just go to my mom's fridge or see what she's cooking. Like, I'm not struggling. And even though we're super poor, I have a lot of financial freedom because I don't have to put like the majority of my money in rent. If I ever want to quit a job because mentally it's draining or I'm tired or someone's trying me at work, I could do it, and I've done it. And all the people that are like, you're still living at home with your parents? Yes, I am. And I'm not hurt that you said that, because at the end of the day, I get to live the life that I want to live. I can go do all of my hobbies. I can spend all day on my phone, on TikTok. I can like spend my day reading, going to the parks, doing whatever I want, living my life.
Yo. Now, I will say this. When I do these reaction videos, I try my best not to belittle, not to be mean, because that's not the point I'm making in these videos. I don't know these people, and I don't want to be mean to someone's situation that I don't know or understand. But this is the first video that I watched, and I was like, holy shit-o. Like, if I ever heard my son or daughter talk like that, that would light a fire under my ass to get them out. There is no way in hell as a parent that I would enable my kids to live a life like this. Entitlement is what that is. The fact that she even said, if I want to lay in bed all day on TikTok, homegirl, you gotta grow up sometime, chick. Like, I don't know how old she is. She doesn't look that old. She looks pretty young. Like, oh my gosh. Like, that blows my mind as a parent. And as somebody who wasn't, I'm 33, so I wasn't that, it's been maybe 10 years since I've been in my younger 20s. I remember it. There is no way in hell I would be living my life like that. Like, I get a sense of pride in trying to grow as an individual, trying to be a good citizen in my local, society, and trying to give back and trying to be productive and trying to live the best life that I can possible. Like, there's pride in that. And when you lose that mindset because you're comfortable, I think you're going to have a hard time succeeding. What happens if again, pray this doesn't happen, but let's say some freak accident happens and both of her parents pass away. What is going to happen to her and her siblings? Do you think they'll be able to make it? Like, that's where I kind of want to say, like, is it the parents' fault for letting this happen? I don't know. That's a tough one. Because I have a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old that I'm prepping for life right now. Like, I use examples. I just took my daughter, if you guys follow me on Instagram, I just took my daughter to a real estate auction that she got to sit in with me and stuff. I was trying to explain to her why daddy is going to this auction and what an auction is and why want to buy property and what happens if you don't pay your bills. The city will auction off the home you live in. You have to pay. To my 4-year-old, like, some of you may be like, you're a weirdo, and she may not understand it yet, but it's the fact that I'm planting those seeds now. And I'm trying to say, dad's wanting to do this and buy these properties so we can give you and your brother a better life. And that this is why dad gets to spend more time at home with you guys. And this is why we get to go hang out more, is because dad has set himself up, or is trying to, financially, so he can buy his time back. And these young kids that have this new mindset of wanting to live with mom and dad because it's comfy and I can lay in bed all day watching TikToks, you're learning nothing, guys. Like, if you're living at home and you got a situation going on like I explained earlier, I get that. Totally different. This is living at home because you're comfy and you don't want to go challenge yourself in life. I do. I think that's wrong. I do. You've got to get out of mommy and daddy's house. You have to rough it. You do. You have to rough it. I did. Lived with roommates in a shitty single-family house, holes in the walls, and just a nasty place. But that's like, it's kind of what you do that to learn to say, okay, I'm in this stage of life right now, but I know I never want to get back to this stage of life, so this is what I need to do to keep growing as an individual. I don't know. That was a big one.
Some of y'all might not like me after this, but I'm gonna say it. After a certain age, saying that you live with your parents is not a flex. I'm 25 and I hear a lot of people in their late 20s, early 30s, mid 30s say like, oh, I still live with my parents. And granted, that may be lit because you could save costs and, you don't have to pay any rent. But what is that doing for your character development? I just feel like if I know that it's not helping me gain rental history, it's not helping me learn how to be more independent at an early age, that's not a flex to me. Like, it's lit. First of all, the best thing is being able to come and go as I please. And even if you are the type of person that you can come and go as you please in your parents' house, you still got to check in. You still got to be the type of person that got to be cautious of what you do, how you do it. And it's just like, no, I'm good. Like, it's nothing about being able to open my fridge and nobody touch my shit. It's something about being able to leave things on the counter for a certain amount of days and I don't have to touch it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just certain things. I just don't want to be that type of person that I'm 40 and I'm just not moving out of my parents' house and I don't really know certain things in life. I don't know that you could turn hand soap from dish soap, or you could cut a sponge in half to save on costs. Like, there's just certain things that really help you develop as a person when you're not living under your parents' roof, especially at that grown age. That's just me personally. But again, in this economic times, I get it.
I agree with her. I like her. She gets it. At the young age of 25, she gets it. So here's where I'm at on the entire situation here of living with parents. Right now, times are tough. I get it. If you're in a tough situation and you cannot absolutely get by out on your own and you're still young, trying to get life started, I get it. I get it. But make sure you're giving your parents, at least if you're older, like my mom said, she's like, I'm charging you rent. Yes, like, you need to have those responsibilities even if you're living with mom and dad. If you're living with mom and dad, make sure you're helping out with cooking. Make sure you try to buy some groceries every now and then. Make sure you do your chores. You clean the bathroom. Keep your room tidy. If go cut the lawn for pops. Like, do all that stuff because you're living with them. They're supposed to be living their best life as empty nesters at that time in their stage of life. Like, they're supposed to be out enjoying and coming and going and not having to worry about kids in the house. So for you being there at your parents' house, you need to make sure that you're doing your best to make that time while you're there as easy as it is on your parents. And guys, if you're living with your parents right now, you better be making that time useful. Use that time to be stocking money away, to be trying out different business ideas. This is the time to fall flat on your face because you have a home to come home to. Do not be disrespectful to your parents. Do not be sitting on TikTok all day in your bed because you're comfy living with mom and dad. That's disrespectful to your parents. When you could be a grown-ass adult trying to get by, struggling, because that's the time of life you're in, out on your own. If you're living with your parents, help out, try to achieve more, try to figure out your life at this time, and be stocking away money while also helping mom and dad out. That's all I got. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video. Cheers.